everybody, so we've got a fun review today as we're discussing Netflix's Skull Island. This is a project I have been very intrigued by ever since it was announced. An animated series that has ties to the MonsterVerse that Legendary is crafting with Kong and Godzilla. And since we do have a bit of time in between movies until we get the next Kong and Godzilla film, I figure with something like this, it could be a fun adventure to kind of hold us over. Skull Island follows a group of explorers shipwrecked on Skull Island as they try to escape this mysterious island that's home to bizarre creatures, terrifying monsters, and the Titan himself, Kong. As a concept, Skull Island has so much potential, especially due to the fact that it's being animated by Powerhouse Animation, who is known for bringing us stuff like Castlevania and Blood of Zeus. A sandbox like Skull Island to utilize with its vast array of monsters allows for a fun level of danger the moment this cast of characters are stranded here. Right from the moment these people crash onto Skull Island at the end of episode 1, you really do feel for them because they are going through it, trying so hard to survive while they're split up into multiple camps on the island. More or less, the plot does share some similarities to Kong Skull Island. You know, in essence, you're exploring the island, chaos is ensuing with the wildlife, while also intersplicing some mystery elements revolving a character named Annie, who's wanted by this other group of people on the island, but we have to kind of figure out why necessarily they want her so badly. Since those mysteries are revealed to us over the course of the season, and while those reasons slowly are revealed, there are a handful of fun, fast-paced moments to keep things engaging with Annie, Mike, Charlie, and Annie's pal Dog, fending off a wide range of creatures that I think are one of the coolest parts to Skull Island, just because there is just a vast amount of different species on the island, some of which are actually new that we've not seen before, but some of these are familiar as well. A big one being the Skullcrawler, who makes an appearance once again after being seen in Kong Skull Island. The coolest creature, though, I think by far, of the new ones especially, is the giant kaiju-sized monster that's in the sea that pretty much serves as the main antagonist of the show in a way. It's this huge kaiju-sized monster in the sea that has tentacles, and it's very menacing even though we don't see it all of that often. However, whenever we do see the monster, it is causing a lot of destruction. It's killing people, it's chucking whales across the island to antagonize Kong. It's a menace, and when you do see it in its full glory towards the end of the season, it makes it all the more satisfying. I don't believe they ever gave a name to the kaiju-sized creature. That's something that I'm hoping we get down the line, but I thought it was pretty cool. Design-wise, it fits very much into an antagonist that Kong or Godzilla would face. While neither of the human groups in Skull Island, I would say, are amazing characters or anything, objectively, I think Cap and Irene's group are just really boring to watch whenever we pan to their storyline. None of them really are doing anything offensively bad either. Charlie kind of brings some comedy to the situation. I did kind of like him and Mike bouncing off one another. But by far, Annie probably is the most intriguing character to follow all throughout Skull Island, kind of by default with the way that it's written, because she does have that mysterious element behind her past, and she gets most of the really badass fight sequences because she's pretty much the main reason they stay alive in the jungle. Now let's talk some Kong and Skull Island. Many people know that follow me, I'm a massive Godzilla fan. Of the two monsters in the MonsterVerse, Godzilla has always been my favorite. I do like Kong quite a lot though still, just not as much as Godzilla, but here in Skull Island, I think Kong does have a lot of epic moments. In the latter half of the season especially, he's able to showcase how awesome he is with these big, creatively crafted battles, which are really satisfying, and they're enhanced even further by the awesome animation style. I mean, the best moment by far in all 8 episodes is when Kong goes up against the giant monster in the sea. Easily by far my favorite moment of all 8 episodes. Outside of the battles, as is tradition with Kong, we do have him build some level of emotional connection with humans, having this whole episode dedicated to a friendship he has with a random woman that is introduced in a flashback. Not gonna lie, it did feel a little bit odd. I did understand why they had that flashback, because mainly it's used to establish some level of rivalry between Kong and the creature in the sea. But it's just weird in the essence, because usually we're used to Kong developing a human connection with our main cast of characters, at least one of them, and in this case, in Skull Island, he has pretty much no connection to the cast. That element kind of goes hand in hand with one of the things I wasn't as fond of, is the usage of Kong inside of Skull Island, and I think a lot lot of fans are going to be disappointed by it as well. With how awesome his moments are when he does appear on screen and how heavy he's emphasizing the marketing, he's not really in the show as much as you assume he's going to be. They kind of blue ball you for the first half of the season with his appearances, but he's largely absent until the last few episodes of Skull Island. And due to the fact that the show truly never tries to make any sort of connection between this cast of characters and Kong, at the end of the day, Kong kind of just comes off as a plot device for convenience sake. We have a giant monster that's in the ocean that's keeping us from getting off the island. I wonder what is on this island that's going to be able to take out that giant monster. It's probably the giant other monster that's on the island. Honestly, the creature that you're going to be seeing most in the show is Annie's companion that's named Dog. I do think Dog is pretty fun. I think he strikes a nice balance between having these awesome battles with humor, since he does not like Charlie's character whatsoever, but he's not Kong, and that is mostly what we're here to see. Other than that, though, many of my other gripes kind of just come down to the storytelling at large being fairly weak. There's very little time ever attempted to build up plot or characters in any way, not only just due to the episodes being extremely short, but everybody pretty much is one-dimensional outside of Annie due to there being that mystery around her backstory, which even when those secrets about her backstory are revealed and how they play into the story at large, they aren't all of that shocking. I think you're probably going to be able to predict what exactly that secret is very early on if you just pay attention to the story. A big question I think is going to be discussed about Skull Island is where exactly in the timeline does it fit with the rest of the MonsterVerse, especially compared to Godzilla vs. Kong, because this definitely is in the same universe. There's even a scene where Cap discusses the Hollow Earth theory, which we know was a big part of Godzilla vs. Kong. However, we also know from the beginning of Godzilla vs. Kong that Monarch put a dome over Skull Island to monitor Kong, so it has to be some time before Godzilla vs. Kong, but it's inherently vague. It does feel kind of semi-modern, however, because of the way we end things off, because it very clearly is setting up a season 2, but that's going to be something interesting that we're going to see develop if we get another season of this. I do think if we get a season 2, because of the way it's teased, it could be kind of weird though. I don't know how you keep the Skull Island title while also continuing the story, but hey, I'm not the one making the show, they gotta figure that out. If I were making the show though, I would probably make the episodes a bit longer because they are very short, they're very fast paced, and it goes by very quick even though there's 8 episodes. I feel like inside of this, you could have chopped it up and made it a really interesting 2-hour movie as opposed to 8 episodes, because it very much feels like a movie that was chopped up into 8 episodes. Overall, Skull Island definitely does have some enjoyable moments to it, especially if you're really into Kong and want to see more of the island and just another extension of the MonsterVerse, but I do think this could have been way better if a few things were tweaked. I still think regardless you're going to have some level of fun with it if you do check it out on Netflix, but I do think that they should have just had a little bit more Kong in this. I mean, sure, I'm a little biased, I love me some kaiju action, but the first half of the show, he's like literally not even in it, which is so weird to me. But make sure you share your thoughts down below once you get a chance to check out the series. It'll be on Netflix right now. What do you think of the show once you get a chance to check it out? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? Share your thoughts down below in the comment section. You're part of the fun is having that conversation with you guys in the comment section down below. And thank you guys, as always, channel reviews. I always do appreciate it. We should like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. But next time, I'll see you guys later.